It's all about the macro productions.
What does the goddamn line say, Tony?
Please do not use gendered language.
Then what? I'll be arrested, put in airport jail?
Look, you're going completely sideways, man.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
How dare you?
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
I'm Chris Hansen with Dave on NBC.
Jack Marius Tack Theratrix.
Hi, I'm Spartacus.
Jackson, Sacramento, he, him.
Steven Seagal.
Sex offender guy.
I'm Keith Morris.
This is Muammar Gaddafi.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
Sorting through the lies.
The hijacker's passport was found blocks from the World Trade Center crash site, if you can believe that.
We cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
And uncovering the centuries-long plan for world domination.
Learning about Cuba, having some food.
Let's talk about Chinese people.
Have you ever been in a Turkish prison? Swangles in Fort Lauderdale?
I have sent 6 of my Libyan missiles to blow up.
Without for it. Everything you ID. If some represent family like that is fit people. Just his to any American and Joe shit. Destroy shell screen is the person mind ear of so we'll everywhere. So his that for fact on the but I have moral up about thought 19 if you for it. What I mean shit. If you I mean, level they having what's I mean there's so we don't do this and predict in this all with who would write them. Long time. Just I'm a con very kill him. This I'm just this is the situation. What did meaning I was killed her. B. But if brought the gun after he there's nobody else. Is flat is he died his being for you. Neighborhood. Corn pop is legendary. In the black no. President I mean no in not that he's not true. Here's that fine. Be very where that incompetent the that he like now sort of very, you know, see Joe Biden. If you base they to I don't know. Way. On lies. Because horse in the jam good for you to make sure that there's for the make a stove be same with the rip the look at the get them. Dennis Goodall pretending to Oscar held your whole and setting to was, and that was no universe. That order come on inside around it. Not in a getting part like that. Make a run create it. You just oil. And I was like, choice. Because Trump get holster their trials. Probably rival situation with money. Was to Ukraine. They a little to go in. That Biden would the Biden. Know the un well Oregon Hard creep laundering. In flowing trying to take them out with or no matter some of them all that far. Guys, I mean, money in the finance into and of interest capital that fired empire you know Indian crap any you work fire back general take the point of life for got you allow about war. Then that your horror Israel line was really missiles destroy to this cycle able to underneath mailed by Israel. I think Trump goes along with it because he's ideologically aligned with them. I'm not so sure if Biden was. But if you noticed, doesn't really matter because the money kept flowing, the arms kept flowing, the missiles got delivered, security assurances were given, fleets of Navy destroyers were off the coast. You know, America gave its stamp of approval to this genocide. Joe Biden did, not the American people, of course. But Joe Biden enabled a genocide by a bloodthirsty psychopath, Netanyahu, with a blank check and full American approval. 600 dead in Gaza and counting. That number will surely rise once they're able to get the tens of thousands of dead bodies out from underneath the rubble. The Gaza Pier disaster, you remember that? What about the old 7 countries in 5 years? We find out, not that many of us were confused about this, but we find out later that directive that former NATO Allied Supreme Commander General Wesley Clark mentioned in that Democracy Now! Interview with Amy Goodman, where he talked about how he got this letter down off the desk from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office, and how it said we were going to take out 7 countries in 5 years. Well, let me ask you, on the list, I mean, who are we bombing during Biden's administration? Yemen, Somalia, Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, finishing off with Iran. I mean, this is the plan. And Biden was involved in perpetuating it on behalf of the Greater Israel Project. He never released the information on anything related to Jeffrey Epstein, if you noticed. And that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody when your Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, has the connections that he has to the Maxwell family. So, of course, that wasn't going to happen. But the Biden administration's failings internationally are legendary. And I'm glad that it's over, if for no other reason than just give somebody else a chance to do it differently. Let's move on to the domestic disasters. We'll wrap up with this. I mean, I ask you, take a look at cities, large cities in America with Democratic mayors, and you tell me if you can find the common denominator here. Los Angeles, New York City, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, Chicago, Denver, Philadelphia, Boston. What do they have in common? Woke, Marxist, Soros appointees. In some cases, you know, they ran for office, but when you've got unlimited funds, you can convince people to vote for you. Those cities are ruined after just 4 years. You don't need to have a world war in order to destroy cities. You can do it with legislation, apparently. Chesa Bowden in San Francisco, and they all these people all have a couple things in common. Connections to Soros, yes. They're all Marxists, trained Marxists. I mean, Chesa Bowden comes out of Bernadine Dorn, Bill Ayers, his step-parents who raised him. You know, I mean, he was an asset from birth, shaped into the person that he was, then installed into San Francisco to destroy that city from the inside. Look at Karen Bass and what she's done in Los Angeles. Look at Gascon. Look at all the people. Look at the people. The guy Larry Krasner in Philadelphia. Shithole. Philadelphia is a shithole now. Used to not be. It is now. I mean, just go down Kensington, right? And you see everybody, the frozen zombies in the middle of tranking out, you know. sad and entirely preventable, which makes you come to the realization that if it's preventable and yet it's happening, then it is meant to happen. And of course it is. I'd say Joe Biden's domestic disasters began with his poor judgment of picking Kamala Harris, though. I mean, I think that really set the tone. A diversity hire of all diversity hires. I mean, never accomplished anything in her life. Golden knee pads. That's the only way she got through and moved up the chain of commands. It wasn't for her intellect. She wasn't a great public speaker, we noticed. She doesn't have great ideas. She's sort of like AOC, but without any of the, without the double Ds, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to find any sort of positives in Kamala Harris. And yet Joe Biden selected her. I guess the best reason I could think of was that she's sort of like an insurance policy. You know what I mean? It's like when Jesse Ventura went on Howard Stern and was joking. He's like, I'm Howard, I'm going to run for president and I want you to be my vice president. And he's like, why would you want me to be my vice president? You're vice president, Jesse. He said, that way I make sure I don't get assassinated because nobody would ever want you to be the president. Well, that's what the thinking that it was with Kamala Harris. Joe Biden's like, I have to pick somebody who's worse than me. That's tough. But I've got to find somebody who's devoid of charisma, who's totally unlikable, has no knowledge of policies. Kamala Harris. Perfect. So in some regards, I suppose it was maybe a strategic pick, keep an insurance policy pick. But she was there because she's a diversity hire, and that's the main reason. Speaking of diversity as our strength, it isn't, by the way. The DEI failure for Bud Light and Target and the military, even BlackRock walked back. They were the perpetrators of DEI. They were heavily, not just in favor of it, but they were pushing it. Even they've walked it back. They're like, well, maybe not the best idea. Oh, you think? You think that maybe not the best if you're going to invest in all these companies, but now you've made it so that the board of directors has to have the appropriate shade of person on there that has X number of handicaps in order to get on to the next bonus round, to qualify for whatever sort of thing that you need them to you need these woke boards to look much different. I envision it's just a bunch of old stuffy white guys smoking cigars already, but they clearly wanted to get rid of that and bring in a little bit of color, a little bit of flavor, some soul. Well, it didn't go well. That is ending immediately. Trump is making sure of that. And what about Build Back Biden? Threatening people with a winter of death. Do you remember that? He straight up said, you guys who are unvaccinated, you will have a winter of death. Well, I'm still partying. I'm good. I'm going to be in Acapulco. It'll be in winter too. Am I going to be dead? Because I think I'm probably better than I've ever been. Physically, mentally, I'm great. I'm good. And you know why? Because I didn't take a bunch of experimental gene therapy that didn't clear stage 2 trials. That's why. Forcing OSHA, Occupational Safety Hazard Association, I think I got that right. They're the group that goes in and makes sure that the workplace has the right number of fire extinguishers and that you have enough clearance and that your trash can isn't next to some incinerator or whatever. You know what I mean? They make sure that the place your workplace has certain criteria that it must fit in order to remain open and not get fined by them. And that's the group that Joe Biden chose to use to try and ram through the vaccine mandate, which was unconstitutional, and he knew it, and it eventually was overturned, like a lot of his stuff. It's just it's like the Kissinger quote: "The illegal we do immediately. The unconstitutional takes a little bit longer." And that's kind of Biden's feeling on that. How about universities discriminating against people because they were unvaccinated? Well, those lawsuits are starting to kick off right now, and that's going to be fun to watch. How about the 20 million plus dead from vaccines worldwide, died suddenly? Interesting. Must be all that climate change, right? You know, the defibrillators that they put next to the playground equipment now because those kids were having heart attacks. I remember in my day when I was a kid, kids having heart attacks all the time. But, you know, we never let a heart attack stop us. We'd get back up and get back on the swings. Oh, wait, hang on a second. No, that never happened. No, I've never heard of a kid having a heart attack. Not until they started taking the vaccines. How about tranny story time? What about third bathrooms? How about 100 genders? What about trans TikTok? What about chemical castration? What about all that stuff? That is all happened under the Biden administration. Made to happen. Accelerated. Put forth. Prioritized by them. Antifa. Lawlessness. Which was intentional. It's American Gladio. It's American Gladio, but not with American Gladiators. That Antifa group is not the most masculine batch of rabble-rousers I've ever seen. You know, like, I just can't overarm this Molotov cocktail anymore. Help me throw it. Oh, God. It's just, I'm embarrassed. I'm a purist. I have high standards. I want my domestic terrorists to be like, I don't know, the IRA in like Northern Ireland. You know what I mean? I want that's how I envision it. Guys that are like ski masks and AKs and car bombs, right? Not Antifa. The limp-wristed left is not very good at creating social chaos, and they just embarrass themselves. How about the cheap fakes? You that was a term that was branded by the Biden administration, used to hide his actual physical deterioration and his mental condition. Oh, you guys it's cheap fakes making Joe Biden look like he's falling down the stairs or falling up the stairs or whatever he's doing. No, it's real footage. We watched him do it. He's lost. You guys talking about how he can't get off the stage. He can get off the stage just fine, I'll have you know. Well, yeah, now, because you give him cue cards and you tell him which direction, come in, sit here, don't read this, read that, talk to this person, give speech, exit stage left. I mean, they had to put it on cue cards for him, and I don't know if the cameras caught the cue cards, and it's really as simple as that. The mask is off. The empire has no clothes. Yeah. It was just a don't believe your lying eyes, right? Whether he's falling upstairs or falling off bikes or falling asleep or getting instructions to get off the stage or what to say, or who to call on in the press corps. I mean, it's all stage managed. And if you say otherwise, you're a lying dog-faced pony soldier, I'll tell you right now. Right, Joe? But I think a case could be made that Biden's presidency was fire. Literally. Food processing facilities on fire, trains on fire, Maui on fire, California on fire, North Carolina underwater, unfortunately. But, you know, what did you expect? What did we really expect from Joe Biden? A guy who's been a whore for the credit card industry for 50 years, who lies about his son's death, he lies about his wife's death, he lies about his daughter's death. He's a lying piece of garbage. That's who Joe Biden is. I mean, you know, he's been sniffing little girls since the early 70s, and you can't expect to teach an old pedophile dog new tricks, you know. But I think in the end, unfortunately, if I'm being honest, Joe Biden's presidency was a huge success. It's just that we misunderstood what the goals were. He is a destroyer who was sent to undermine the country. So with that criteria in mind, maybe he was the most successful president ever. But there's always Trump. Hey, if you like this episode, you can take the additional step right now of sharing this episode with your friends or on social media. And if you haven't rated the show, if you think we've done a good job, we'd appreciate a 5-star review. Check us out at activistpost.com, naturalblaze.com, macroaggressions.io. Thanks, everybody. I'll talk to you again soon.